solves the captures. You can see here, it's AI solving them.
This is the face of a very nasty person. Pokémon Center was kind of like the last bastion of, being able to get product on release. Literally a police department that is helping scalpers. The collectors are getting fed up and they've put in complaints with the store. Target no longer sells to resellers. This ensures all guests have a fair opportunity to purchase products. But he stole the cards and then he went across town and he tried to sell them to another store. Oh, you need to be taking your valuable items and you need to be putting them in safes. Federal, state, and local law enforcement are working together to crack down on these Pokemon thieves. Scalpers and botters gone wild. People are just absolutely losing their minds. I thought Pokemon was crazy a year ago with Prismatic Evolutions, and now with Ascended Heroes. None of that matters anymore. We are in another stratosphere of craziness. And today I'm going to cover some crazy news articles that have come out over the last few weeks that are going to blow your mind. And I'm also going to cover some interesting exposés on some botters that I found out there that is absolutely going to blow your mind. And we're also going to cover what Pokémon Center and some other companies are doing to try and fight scalpers. So we're going to cover all of this today. It's going to be a really interesting episode. So stay tuned and stay connected. Leave a comment. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And let's get right into the very first one, which is going to be a little bit of a vanilla take, but it's going to be really interesting. Okay. This is the real gist of this article isn't really the headline. It's that this Knoxville Police Department is enabling scalping. Okay. So I'm going to get to that in a second, but literally a police department that is helping scalpers. Headline reads, man used movie money to steal Pokemon cards worth hundreds in Facebook sale gone wrong, Greenville police say. So let's get into the article really quickly. The Greenville Police Department is investigating after police say a man used movie prop cash to steal hundreds of dollars worth of Pokemon cards in Facebook Marketplace deal gone wrong. The report from the department outlines what happened when the seller tried to make some money selling the collectible cards, which have been proven moneymakers and the tools of scammers. The seller had arranged to meet the buyer, Michael Ledford, at 404 Y Street at approximately 2100 hours. The report says, setting the nighttime scene of the incident at the Greene County YMCA, the seller had agreed to sell a 31 card collection for $200. The report says the seller told police Ledford handed over two fake $100 bills, then ran when the seller caught on. The seller instantly recognized that the bills were fake due to the texture of the paper. The report says, when the seller said that the bills were fake, Michael, with the Pokemon cards in hand, ran to his car and left. That's when the victim called the police, the report says, and spoke to the responding officer. The seller gave me the two counterfeit $100 bills, which I could quickly tell were fake by the feel of the paper. I wonder if the Pokemon had a feel of fakeness. The report says, upon visual inspection, the print on the bills stated for motion picture purposes. While the report identified Ledford as the would-be buyer, the investigation is still ongoing with police on the hunt for more information. So basically this guy went to buy 31 Pokemon cards for $200 and he used prop cash, okay? Basically from a movie set. So that's the headline. It was kind of funny, but like nothing really, earth-shattering. But this video from the news station and what the Knoxville Police Department is doing, this is the real kicker. So get a load of this.
Police are now investigating a Facebook Marketplace sale gone wrong when someone tried to sell Pokemon cards worth $200. The person buying gave the seller fake money and then took off. But this isn't something that's uncommon. Scammers could be anywhere. So we wanted to give you some tips for the next time that you think you might want to buy or sell online. Knoxville Police, they posted some tips on Facebook, but if you're meeting up for a sale, make sure you're in a well-lit place. It's best if it's got security. One way they're making sure you can do that is they set up a safe exchange zone. It's 2 parking spots outside of the public safety complex in downtown Knoxville. It also has 24-hour surveillance. But it's not just Knoxville Police. Police and sheriff's departments across the state have created the same things. Clinton, Blount, Greenville, KCSO. They even took it a step further. They created a series of spots at Walmarts across the county, 24/7 recorded feed at each spot. If you can find them in parking lots in Walmarts for Halls, Clinton Highway, Chapman Highway, Parkside Drive, Walker Springs. These are all created to help keep you safe. Another good rule of thumb, though, if it seems too good to be true, it might just be.
So I think that's hilarious. I mean, So inadvertently, they're trying to help people from getting scammed. So they created these safe exchange zones, certain parking spots that have under 24-hour surveillance. They're trying to do this to help people and prevent people from getting robbed or scammed or whatever. But at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're basically creating safe retail locations for scalpers. That's what they're doing. And so if I was a scalper, which I'm not a scalper, I would be going to those parking spots, and that's where I'd be making all my deals, right? Because I'd be like, oh, this is perfectly safe. I got police surveillance, police monitoring, and they're telling me to come make all my deals here. So they're enabling the scalpers to resell the product, and I think it's just kind of funny. But they have them on surveillance technically. So if they ever needed to identify who the scalpers were, they've got them on surveillance. So if these are unscrupulous scalpers, which I think is kind of an oxymoron because they're all unscrupulous, but if they were doing anything illegal, like robbing a place and then trying to resell it, then they could use that footage to try and find them. So anyways, I thought that was a really funny article and a really, really kind of sad that that's where we're at now with this. So let's move on to the next one. This one is Queens man charged in connection with armed robberies of collectible Pokemon trading cards from New York stores. This is crazy, okay? Some of these articles you might have seen, you might have heard, but if you actually read and dig into the articles, it blows my mind where this hobby is going. I mean, this is like Hollywood stuff, okay? And I'm not talking about like the fake $100 bill Hollywood stuff. I'm like things they make movies about, okay? United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, and Special Agent in charge of the New York Field Division for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, okay? This is the ATF. Brian DiGirolamo announced today the unsealing of a complaint charging Andy David Palacios Ortiz in a conspiracy to commit armed robberies in January of 26 of 2 New York stores that sold collectible Pokemon trading cards. Palacios was arrested today and presented before Magistrate Judge Barbara Moses. These alleged robberies were not simply thefts targeting collectibles. They were violent crimes that left victims fearing for their safety, said ATF Special Agent in charge Brian DiGirolamo. The successful identification and arrest of dangerous offenders is only possible through close coordination between federal, state, and local law enforcement. Let me read that again. Coordination between federal, state, and local law enforcement. Federal, state, and local law enforcement are working together to crack down on these Pokemon thieves. It's crazy. Thanks to the hard work for ATF NYPD Strategic Pattern Technical Apprehension Group and the NYPD's Manhattan and Queens robbery squads and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, we are committed to our shared mission to protect the public from violent crimes. On or about January 9th, 26, multiple masked individuals entered a collectible trading card store in Queens, New York, brandished a gun at store employees. So this is while they were open, okay? And customers in the store, and stole Pokemon cards and cash. Less than a week later, on or about January 14th, 26, multiple masked individuals entered a Pokemon trading card and merchandise store in Lower Manhattan, New York, and held store employees and dozens of customers at gunpoint while they robbed the store of Pokemon cards and cash, including by using a hammer to break open a glass display case holding some of the store's most valuable Pokemon cards. The Pokemon merchandise stolen by the robbers in the 2 robberies is valued in excess of $100,000. So they're doing this bank robbery style, like a bank. They're going in with guns, masks, they're breaking cases, they're filling their bags, everyone on the ground, and they're leaving. And now we've got federal, state, and city coordination of law enforcement to crack down on this crime spree. Palacios organized and participated in the commission of both robberies. In particular, Palacios helped plan the robberies by surveilling the stores, identifying the most valuable Pokemon cards inside, and communicating that information to his conspirators. So he cased the places. On or about January 12, 26, 2 days before the Manhattan robbery, Palacios used his cell phone to take pictures or video of various items behind the glass display case where the robbers eventually took place. Palacios participated in the commission of the robberies by, among other things, recruiting another co-conspirator who drove the robbers to and from the robberies. Palacios also sold some of the stolen Pokemon cards after the robberies for thousands of dollars. I wonder if he used one of those safe Facebook Marketplace parking spots. Palacios, 28, of Flushing, New York, has been charged with 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery and 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery conspiracy, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. So up to 40 years in prison, which is crazy. Unbelievable. That's an unbelievable story, guys. You know, this is crazy. I mean, armed robberies. I wouldn't want to have a Pokemon store. I mean, it's, you know, I'd want to. It sounds great. Let's open a hobby store. Let's sell Pokemon cards, seal product. Sounds great. But you now have to deal with like bank robbers, literally, you know, that are coming in to steal your stuff. Unbelievable. Just crazy. So on that same vein, let's jump over to this news story, which is kind of interesting as well. A little bit less crazy than the last one, but also interesting.
The owner here at Video Game Rescue says that on Sunday morning, 2 people came in around 11 a.m. and stole $2,000 worth of Pokemon cards. He says the people got away with several graded Pokemon cards, meaning that they're covered in plastic to keep them in like new conditions. Dustin Gardenbush, the owner here, says that on Sunday morning, he got a call from his store manager telling him the thing that no store owner ever wants to hear.
My store manager called me and said, hey, I think we have an issue. I think I caught somebody stealing. She sent me over a picture of the individuals and what they had done and explained exactly what she thought was done.
Now, Gardenbush says that those Pokemon cards actually do have serial numbers on them, so hopefully they'll be returned to his store because they're also commissioned cards, meaning that they didn't belong to him. They actually belong to somebody else who was trying to sell them to make a profit.
So that one kind of speaks for itself. These robberies are happening everywhere. These news articles are getting more and more plentiful and easier to find. And I'm just trying to highlight some of the more crazy ones. I mean, there's less crazy ones, but let's see if we can go into this one. AC Worth man arrested for stealing 10,000 in Pokemon in Duluth. So here's a summary. A man broke into Wasteland Gaming in Duluth last Wednesday and stole approximately $10,000 worth of high-value Pokemon cards. Gwinnett County Police say the suspect, Oscar Stewart, was caught after he allegedly tried to steal the stolen items to another shop in Cobb County. Stewart now faces several charges, including burglary and illegal gun offenses following the smash and grab caught on surveillance video. So that's the summary of this, and let's take a quick peek at this video.
Tonight, a man is facing charges in Gwinnett County for trying to steal them all. Some of these cards are actually pretty valuable. That story is where we begin tonight at 10. Thanks for joining us. I'm Courtney Bryant.
And I'm Russ Spencer. Police say he stole thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards from a Duluth shop. Fox 5's Christopher King spoke with the store owner and joins us now in Duluth with more. Christopher?
Russ, Courtney, it happened right here at Wasteland Gaming. A crook smashed through the front door, then grabbed those Pokemon cards. The store owner says the guy knew what he was after and moved quickly. Check out this surveillance video. A guy with a blue and white umbrella breaks the glass door at this store, crawls in, shoots out the glass on this case, steals Pokemon cards, then crawls back out.
The alarm goes off in the middle of the night.
It happened around 4:30 last Wednesday morning, April 29th at Wasteland Gaming in Duluth.
It's a rough wake-up call.
James Miller is a co-owner. He says the crook grabbed thousands of dollars in Pokemon cards.
About 10 grand worth of stuff.
This suspect then went to Cobb County in an attempt to sell some of the stolen Pokemon cards.
Gwinnett County police say the thief tried to sell the stolen cards to another store.
I got a call pretty quickly afterwards that the thief had been there when the store opened and sold about half of the goods. And he said he was going to come back later and sell the other half. When he came back later, they called the cops.
Call Cobb County. They come out and they arrest Oscar Stewart for an outstanding warrant he had on some other related charges.
Miller says Pokemon cards are hot items.
The most expensive card was around $2,000.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. It's a lot of money that's pretty easy to fit in your pocket. It's a huge target right now.
So he stole the Pokemon cards. First of all, this umbrella thing is kind of funny, but he stole the cards and then he went across town and he tried to sell them to another store. Oh man, just the stupidity. I mean, it just goes to show you that a lot of the people that are doing these types of crimes, these are not Pokemon collectors. These are not hobbyists, okay? These people are not involved in this hobby. They're not part of this hobby. They've just identified valuable items. You know, he had priors, right? It said he was, caught on some other charges. This is a criminal. He just identified that this is an opportunity for him to make easy money. Versus, like I said on a previous video, robbing a bank or doing something that's higher risk. He can go in here and just get Pokemon cards that, just like the guy said, $2,000 that fits right in your pocket. It is irresponsible of store owners of Pokemon shops that sell singles that are valuable and they sell slabs, it is irresponsible for them not to have proper security measures. In fact, I saw somebody post on one of my previous scalper videos and one of these similar videos, Pokemon store owners that aren't locking up their slabs in safes at the end of the night are likely committing insurance fraud. I mean, I think that's a stretch to paint every store owner like that, but I think that locking up your slabs in a safe at the end of the night, if you own a Pokemon store, that's just good practice now. I think you need to be doing that unless you have some really serious security measures already implemented in your store. You need to be taking your valuable items and you need to be putting them in safes. I think that's just good practice. So let's move on to the next one. A little bit more of a short article, but 18-year-old charged, accused of breaking into game store and stealing Pokemon cards. So the video is not really anything here, but I'm going to read you what's going on here. An 18-year-old from Mechanicville has been arrested after a robbery investigation at a local gaming store, according to the Mechanicville Police Department. Police said 18-year-old Timothy Furnett Jr. of Mechanicville was charged with burglary in the 3rd degree, criminal mischief in the 3rd degree, petty larceny, criminal possession of stolen property in the 5th degree, endangering the welfare of a child. Oh, that's awful. Authorities said the charges stem from an investigation into a burglary at Forgotten Freshness Classic Gaming on Saratoga Avenue in Mechanicville. So I think this is just sad, because you got an 18-year-old who's throwing his life away because he decided to rob a Pokemon shop while there was kids in there. It's just horrible. I mean, so many lives disaffected, including this young 18-year-old degenerate, ruining his own life and potentially disaffecting other people's lives and ruining this hobby for a poor kid and maybe having some trauma for that kid. So that's just awful. That's just an awful article. But again, this hobby is getting really disgusting. And I think us, the collectors and the hobbyists, we need to stand up to this kind of stuff and we need to call this stuff out and we need to highlight it. And that's why I'm doing these types of videos so that you guys can really be aware of what's really happening. Pokemon card theft, suspect caught in $7,000 Tempe card shop burglary. I'll play a little bit of this video, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. And let's see it.
An international smash and grab trend has hit Tempe. A thief stealing large amounts of Pokemon cards worth thousands. Our Andrew Christensen is live in the East Valley now to explain. Andrew.
So unfortunately, this is a trend that's happening not just here in the U.S., but also internationally. So here in the U.S., it's happened in places like Las Vegas and New York. Internationally, it's happened in places like England and also Canada. But here in Tempe, it happened to Bussin' or Bustin'. You can actually see where the suspect took a sledgehammer to this front door. Then he also went to the door of the shop. And this is something that the owner caught all on camera.
When I first pulled in, I realized that the window had been broken. Didn't know what was taken.
It's a break-in that only took a few minutes.
So I'm still picking up glass everywhere I go, and then he broke into this one here.
Surveillance video capturing the suspect smashing through a glass door, then grabbing packs of Pokemon cards and other merchandise. He makes off with the loot in under 2 minutes.
He did a lot of damage to a small business, and this type of stuff, you get caught.
Chuck Shakta says the man stole more than $7,000 worth of stuff, but he also did more than $10,000 worth of damage.
This is a little bit older. This happened a few weeks ago. But I just wanted to highlight this one as well. Another horrible robbery. This guy looks like a degenerate. Here's a more recent one that I wanted to show you guys. I know I've got a bunch of these. There's so many good ones, and I really wanted to show you guys this one. This one just happened, I think, a few days ago. This one's fairly new. So a group of men armed with bats fight over Pokemon cards outside London Smith's toy store. So these dudes, I don't know who they are. I think they were in their 40s, though, like older guys. And they got into a fight, okay? And they got it on video. So I wanted to show you guys this video.
A ver.
So that video is just mind-blowing. Again, apparently they were waiting in line for Pokemon cards and this fight broke out. That's the only video that's out there. There's very little information about this one. It, again, just happened a few days ago. Apparently they were charged. There was like a 42 or 43-year-old man involved. A bystander tried to get in and stop the fight. He got hurt. Crazy. So all these videos I'm showing you guys, which are shocking and they're upsetting and they're sad. But why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because awareness, we all need to be aware of what's happening for our own safety and for knowledge of the hobby. But also, we need to see and hold accountable the companies that can actually do things to help prevent these things from happening. And who are those companies? Well, it's Pokemon and it's these retailers. So recently, Target has had some changes of heart, let's say, to try and fix the scalper issue, which is, it's kind of separate from these robberies. So let's talk about that first. In terms of these robberies, I think that these retail stores, the big ones and the smaller ones, need to take measures to stop this from happening. But these big lineups, getting rid of those lineups and trying to prevent the scalpers from lining up and getting into these fights is a good start. Target, fights against Pokemon scalpers seem to be heating up. Target launched another Pokemon collection over the weekend. This is from last week, and the drop has been as hot as you'd expect. This is the Pokemon Target collaboration. Everything from Pokemon-themed windbreakers to Pokemon kickballs are sold out with online and in-store. As a part of that drop, workers say that the company is instituting a new policy regarding product purchase limits. Employees further allege that at some stores, management is starting to enforce an already existing reseller rule. On social media, Target customers are sharing flyers they are purportedly encountering at stores. These notices say that Target is limiting people to one purchase per Pokemon product. The specifics of which products are included are murky. The official page for the new collection explicitly say that the retailer will allow the purchase of one item per person to give more fans a chance to shop. Though not outright stated, the measure appears to be in response to the ongoing reseller problem where scalpers clear out Pokemon product from stores to sell at an upcharge. But some flyers shared by customers specify that similar limits are also being enforced for trading cards, not just new Pokemon merch. In one Facebook post where a surprise customer shared a flyer, the comments are full of people saying they too encountered similar notices at their store. There are also people who say that their individual stores have already been enforcing this rule. Based on previous policy enforcement, it appears that Target is allowing individual stores to access how to handle their communities. Just last week, footage of a Target worker slashing open Pokemon card boxes to prevent resellers went viral. Yes, this was a video that happened. He was cutting open ETBs as he was handing them out so that they wouldn't be resold. The action was not a company mandate, but workers allege that the company expressed support for any store adopting that practice. So they're not telling people to do that, but they're also not stopping them from doing it. Similarly, while there are many claims online of Target customers encountering the more strict one product limit, there are also Pokemon fans who say their specific store is still sticking to the per person limit. Another viral flyer reportedly from a Target store goes even further and claims that the company no longer sells to resellers and that purchases must be for personal use. The policy is reportedly being enforced to ensure all guests have a fair opportunity to purchase product. I actually have a picture of this one right here. Reseller policy. Target no longer sells to resellers. This ensures all guests have a fair opportunity to purchase products and helps us stay competitive. That's really interesting. How are they going to tell if someone's a reseller? I guess they have to really kind of keep their eye on it, right? Target did not respond to requests for comment. Pokemon fans welcome these policies, but still express concern about efficacy. The question is, how will Target determine who's a reseller and who isn't, which is what I just said. They're trying, and that's a start. They're trying, Target is trying. Limiting to one SKU per customer is a start. And, in my community here, there's definitely a group of collectors out there who are mixed in with groups of scalpers, and we don't know who's a scalper and who's a collector. But I know that there is a group of scalpers that are swarming Targets. They're waiting in line for 12 to 18 hours overnight, camping just to get their product. The collectors are getting fed up and they've put in complaints with the store. And they're saying, these people should be limited to one item, right? And then it'll prevent them from coming because they're coming from other cities. They're not even in our city. They're coming from other cities to get product here on the drop day at this store because their city has a drop day at a different day. So they're trying to get a little bit from everywhere. So if we can prevent them from getting 5 items of everything, maybe restrict them to one of everything, then it'll prevent them from coming, and it won't make these queues so crazy, and it'll let everybody, including Timmy, get some Pokemon cards. So it's a start, and I think Target's listening, but is it enough? Is it going to work? We will see. We shall see. Let's talk about Pokémon Center. We just had the Pitch Black Pokémon Center pre-order drop a few days ago. I think it was last week, actually a week ago from the day that I recorded this, which was an absolute disaster. I was able to get my Pitch Black ETB and booster box. I was lucky. I was there in time, but a lot of people weren't, and it didn't get product. And, you know, the website crashed because there's botters that are overwhelming the Pokemon Center website. And Pokemon Center historically, you know, has been trying really hard to prevent bots from accessing their website, but they're failing. They're failing now because the bots have now caught up to Pokemon Center and they're scooping up the product. And this is now fact. I can prove it. And it's really sad because Pokemon Center was kind of like the last bastion of, you know, being able to get product on release. And even that's gone now. Like I got some, but I really had to be there. I had to be there like right at drop and in line and really get it. And a lot of people didn't because by the time they came up, the website had crashed and checkouts weren't happening. And it's not like they sold out. I don't think it was that they sold out. I think it was that the website crashed. So is there going to be another Pitch Black pre-order drop? Are they going to do it again? Nobody really knows. Today, there was another Pokemon Center queue. I joined it and it was just a mess. It was, you know, 145 hour wait. And then it went down to 5 hours and then 3 hours and 4 hours. And it was like that for like an hour and a half before I said, this is ridiculous. And then I checked my groups and they all said, yeah, Pokemon Center's messed up. There's nothing dropping. It was supposed to be prismatic booster bundles and it ended up being nothing. So are we going to get those booster bundles? Are we going to get another Pitch Black pre-order? And if we do get another Pitch Black pre-order, does that mean everybody else, including me, are going to go back in there and get another pre-order? Because that's silly and it shouldn't be allowed. We should get our one pre-order. Everybody should be able to get their one pre-order, except for this guy. I'm sad to say that I have to show you guys this loser. Take a look at his face. This is the face of a very nasty person. Okay. This is the face of a person who's willing to make $1 in any way, shape, or form. This is not a business person. This is not a person who's, you know, hurting for money and just doing whatever they can just to get by. This is a not nice person, okay, to put it plainly. I don't want to lose nasty words, but I'll show you why.
For 100 Pokemon Center Pitch Black ETBs, we're going to go for a mega home run here.
Oh, it's about to go, mate.
Come on! Jaden's behind the camera. He's coming into I think they pulled the products. It's a river of photos. So guys, we're currently getting in the queue for Pokemon Center. This is more than likely going to be a Pitch Black drop. This is how the bot solves the captures. You can see here, it's AI solving them. We can see we're getting queue times loading in now. So we're running each profile twice on 2 different proxies to try and increase our chances this time around. So we've got 145 total tasks. We can have a maximum of 73 checkouts. Pokemon Center US is live. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna come and grab the Pokemon Center PIDs from the CCM botting mentorship. Here we go. Put in the PIDs now so you can see we've got multi-card on the PIDs here. So you've got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Should have a steady flow of checkouts throughout the next like hour or so.
Just for one more favour, when the checkouts come out, please don't scream. We have neighbours.
Here we go. We're adding to cart, we're submitting address, we're getting a payment key, we're sending a payment key. This is you, Will. Do something in order to. That is it, people. We have just copped 100 Pokemon Center Pitch Black ETBs. We copped 100 ETBs, we've copped 51 booster boxes, and we've copped 98 booster bundles.
Sad. And this guy is a botter. And not only is he a botter, but he's out here trying to help you become a botter. And he's got a website where he will coach you, obviously for money, on how to bot and how to make money. And this guy has monetized stealing product from regular collectors and reselling it to make money. I mean, you have to be a special kind of nasty to do this, where you're making money off people who are making money off other people in a gray area of society for a hobby that's designed for children. It's absolutely nasty. It's absolutely nasty. And I cannot condone it. I think it's disgusting. And I think that we should be hoarding this guy's YouTube channel and we should be canceling this guy. This is exactly I'm not a cancel culture person by any means. Okay. I am not. Everybody has a right to speak and say whatever they want. But this guy needs to be canceled because what he's doing is borderline illegal, maybe not quite illegal, but borderline illegal. He's not even in the United States. He's in the UK. The guy barely speaks English and he's taking cards from our US market and then reselling it and then boasting about it and then trying to convince other people to do the same thing. It's absolutely disgusting. And I encourage you guys, obviously, like, share, subscribe my video, but go to his video, leave nasty comments, thumbs down on his videos, you know, anything you can to just kind of crush this guy. Cause you know, I showed you guys Botter Boy Nova on another video, which was nasty. This guy's a whole nother level of nasty. I really don't like him. So I'm going to pull it up for you again. It's this guy, Milo Wilkinson. Okay. Don't subscribe. Go give him thumbs down. This guy's terrible. He's nasty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Pokemon update video. I hope you guys are able to get some sealed product out there on the open market. I hope you guys can get some Pokemon Center. I hope you guys can get some Pitch Black. I hope you guys can get any sealed product that you can get your hands on. Anything at all at this point. Open some Pokemon packs. Have some fun. Put some sealed product on your shelf. Display it however you want. I hope you enjoy this hobby because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it and we'll catch you on the next one.